Imagine this. It's the final lap of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton is just inches away from his 8th World Championship. But in a twist no one saw coming, Max Verstappen swoops in to snatch victory. What caused this jaw-dropping turnaround? Dive into the controversial decisions that made headlines and changed the course of Formula One history. The 2021 Formula One season was a spectacle of speed and skill, but nothing could match the electrifying rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Both drivers had showcased extraordinary talent and determination, making this season one of the most memorable in recent history. Hamilton, a veteran of the sport with a track record of 7 world championships, was in the hunt for an 8th, a milestone that would set him apart as the greatest driver of all time. Verstappen, the young Dutch phenom, was determined to end Hamilton's dominance and carve out his own legacy. Their clash was more than just a battle on the track. It was a clash of eras, of experience versus raw ambition. As the season reached its climax, all eyes turned to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, a race that would determine the fate of the championship. The stakes were sky high. Hamilton was in a prime position, leading the championship and the race itself, with his path to the title seemingly clear. Verstappen, however, was not to be underestimated. He was fighting tooth and nail, and every race had been a showcase of his relentless drive. The tension built up throughout the season was palpable as the final race approached. Fans around the world knew that this was not just any race, it was the decider. Hamilton was in the lead, racing with precision and confidence, but Verstappen's aggressive and fearless driving kept everyone on the edge of their seats. Then came the moment that would change everything. A crash brought out the safety car, a common occurrence in racing, but this time it would become the focal point of intense debate and controversy. With only a few laps left and Hamilton seemingly on the brink of victory, the race took a dramatic turn. Race director Michael Masi's decision to allow only some of the lapped cars to unlap themselves rather than all of them created a chaotic situation. This decision, deviating from the usual protocol, placed Verstappen right behind Hamilton for a dramatic final showdown. The race was about to explode into one of the most controversial finishes in Formula One history. As the safety car pulled in and the race resumed, Verstappen's fresh tires and newfound positioning gave him a golden opportunity. What followed was a heart-stopping finale that would not only determine the champion, but also spark a heated debate about the fairness of the decisions made. The stage was set for a dramatic conclusion, with everything hanging in the balance. What would happen next was a breathtaking sequence of events that left the entire Formula One world holding its breath. With the stage set and tension at its peak, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix unfolded in a whirlwind of drama and high-stakes racing. From the very first lap, it was clear this race would be one for the history books. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were about to deliver a spectacle that would leave fans and commentators buzzing for years. The race began with Hamilton in pole position, and he wasted no time asserting his dominance. From the start, Hamilton's precision and speed were on full display. He took the lead and began to build a comfortable gap, showing why he was a 7-time world champion. Verstappen starting alongside him wasn't about to make it easy. The young Dutch driver kept the pressure on, making every lap a thrilling contest between two of the sport's finest. As the race progressed, Hamilton's lead seemed secure. Verstappen, despite pushing hard, struggled to close the gap. But then, on lap 53, everything changed. A crash involving Nicholas Latifi brought out the safety car, a moment that would become pivotal in this dramatic narrative. The safety car bunched up the field, erasing Hamilton's hard-earned lead and setting the stage for a final showdown. Race director Michael Masi's decision at this point would ignite a firestorm of controversy. Typically, when a safety car is deployed, all lapped cars are allowed to unlap themselves before the race resumes. This process clears the way for a fair restart. However, Masi's decision was to allow only some of the lapped cars to unlap themselves, leaving a few cars between Hamilton and Verstappen. This unusual move meant that Verstappen, with fresher tires and a clear track in front of him, was directly behind Hamilton for the restart. The race restarted with just a few laps remaining, and the tension was off the charts. Hamilton, leading on older tires, was suddenly thrust into a high-pressure situation. Verstappen, on fresh soft tires, was in the perfect position to strike. The final laps were a dramatic battle as Verstappen made his move. With unmatched aggression and precision, Verstappen began to close in on Hamilton, exploiting every opportunity to overtake. The overtaking maneuver was as thrilling as it was decisive. Verstappen, in a daring move, passed Hamilton on the final lap, clinching the race and, with it, the championship. The scene was electric, with Verstappen's team celebrating wildly and Hamilton left to grapple with the sudden shift in fortune. The aftermath of the race saw immediate reactions from all sides. Red Bull's Christian Horner was ecstatic, celebrating Verstappen's dramatic win. Mercedes' Toto Wolff, however, was visibly frustrated, questioning the fairness of Massi's decision. The media and fans were quick to weigh in, with debates heating up over whether the race director's decisions had unfairly influenced the outcome. The race wasn't just a thrilling spectacle, it was a turning point in Formula One. The decisions made and the way the final laps unfolded would spark discussions about the rules, the role of race directors, and the very nature of competition in the sport. It wasn't just about who won or lost, it was about how the race was conducted and the impact of those decisions on the sport's integrity. The dust had barely settled on the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix when the fallout began to reverberate through the world of Formula One. The race that had ended in such dramatic fashion now became the center of intense scrutiny and debate, leaving a lasting impact on the sport. The controversy surrounding Michael Massi's decisions was immediate and intense. The key question was whether the race director's actions were in line with the regulations and whether they had unfairly influenced the outcome. The Formula One community was polarized. Fans, pundits, and teams were divided in their opinions. Some argued that Massi's decisions were within his discretion as race director, while others believed that the call undermined the fairness of the championship. Lewis Hamilton, who had been so close to securing his 8th title, was left to grapple with the aftermath. The final laps of the race had seen him lose his seemingly inevitable victory. Hamilton's reaction was a mix of disappointment and frustration, compounded by the controversy over how the race had been managed. In the weeks following the race, Hamilton remained relatively silent, focusing on reflecting on the season and preparing for the future. Max Verstappen, on the other hand, was celebrating an unexpected triumph. The championship win was a career-defining moment for him, but it was also tainted by the debate over the race's fairness. Verstappen's victory was a testament to his skill and determination, but the controversy surrounding the final laps cast a shadow over his achievement. The post-race celebrations were marred by questions about the legitimacy of his title. The reaction from the teams was equally intense. Red Bull Racing was ecstatic, celebrating their driver's remarkable win. They defended the race director's decisions and focused on their victory. Mercedes, however, expressed their dissatisfaction, with Toto Wolff voicing strong concerns about the fairness of the race's final moments. The team's stance was clear. They felt the decisions made had compromised the integrity of the championship. The impact on Formula One extended beyond the immediate fallout. The controversy led to a broader discussion about the rules and the role of the race director. The FIA, Formula One's governing body, faced calls for a review of the procedures and regulations to ensure that such controversies could be avoided in the future. The debate over the race's management highlighted the need for clarity and consistency in how races are handled, especially in high-stakes situations. As for Hamilton's future, the race had a profound effect. While he remained one of the sport's greatest drivers, the controversy surrounding Abu Dhabi added a new dimension to his career narrative. The question of whether he would return for another season or whether the events of 2021 had influenced his decision-making was a topic of speculation. Hamilton's legacy was already secure, but the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix had added a dramatic chapter to his story. The 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix will be remembered not just for its thrilling finish, but for the controversy that followed. It was a race that tested the boundaries of fairness and set the stage for discussions about the future of Formula One. The echoes of that final lap are still felt today, leaving fans and experts alike wondering how one of the most dramatic races in history will shape the sport moving forward. If you enjoyed diving into this incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more thrilling Formula One content. See you in the next video.